Alrighty guys, welcome. Apologies about the slight delay here today. I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to another London session. And guys, let's get started, let's go cracking. So without further ado, good morning, good afternoon, and as always, a very good evening. What is going on? Hold on. Something not happy about here in the YouTube side of things. Why is this setting changed? Apologies guys, just man, it's always one thing after another, isn't it? What is going on here? Anyway, fix it later. It's where pain in the ass when things don't. Technology, I hate it, can't stand it. Who thought the advancement in technology was a good thing? It's shit because it doesn't work properly. Drives me insane. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and without further ado, let's get cracking. Let's get into what we are here for, and that is looking at the chart, seeing what we come up with moving forward. Hope you guys are doing well. You guys know the drill. TikTok, smash that screen for me. YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. And if you have charts, questions, or anything you'd like me to have a look at for you, I will do so shortly. But first of all, let's have a look at the news moving forward here today. As far as scheduled news for our session, let's just refresh this. Sorry guys, been rushed to the charts here today. Nothing. Well, we've got some potentially, if I'm still on stream at that point, high impact news for the yen to come with the Bank of Japan governor speaking. So that's something to obviously be wary of. Anyone who does trade in any of the yen pairs, I obviously do look at GJ, so that's something I will be keeping an eye on. We just had some Swiss news. Otherwise, not much in regards to the news moving forward in our session. Obviously today we've got into MI session, some high impact news to come, but tomorrow really is when all the big news starts for the US dollar. Anyway guys, don't forget, smash that screen, YouTube, TikTok, sorry, YouTube, smash like button, and let's get cracking. Let's have a good one, guys. And let's start with, as always, the gold, and looking at it once again at weekly. And look at that. Well, when you know it, no lower wick just yet. And to be honest, the last three candles have had no wick, as I've mentioned, in the opposite direction to the way to the eventual close. So at this rate, it doesn't look likely again that we're going to create that lower wick. As much as people say it has to pull back to create that, to fill that gap, I see it differently. So yes, I see there's potential for it to pull back, but as long as it respects any levels of support it had previously created to the upside, there is actually no need for it to pull back down to create the lower wick. So at this stage, that's exactly what we're doing. We're obviously respecting levels within the current weekly candle. We're still hovering and engulfing that above that previous weekly candle's high as well, that bearish candle. So off the back of that, I'm now looking only at the current weekly candle. I have no regard at all for the previous weekly at this point, other than the fact we are just above it. So we're pretty much at that open slash high of the previous weekly. So we are now strong bullish on the weekly time frame. On to the daily. Once again, focus more on the candles again on the daily time frame these days, and what we can see is we have another strong bullish engulfing candle on that previous day's candle. The current candle has a high low high high as well, just pulling back to that previous weekly high and the resistance here to the left. So a potential level that we could have pulled back to in order to grab a little bit more liquidity before we continue to push to the upside. So off the back of that, let's just mark in the current daily candle's high and see what we've got above that point there, and make our way onto the 4 hour time frame. And what we can see is that has flipped structure bullish as well. So off the back of that, I know my bias is already going to be the upside, irrespective of the 30-minute structure. My preference would be to look for buys. Doesn't mean I'm fixated on the buys. I will, if I have a catalyst such as the 30-minute structure being bearish, I will also consider options to sell it. We are popping back below some resistance here to the left as well. What we can see is got lower high, lower low on the previous candle as well. So if we begin to break the low of that previous candle, probabilities are once again to the downside in a 4 hour time frame. However, the structure is technically bullish. So could it just be pulling back to grab a little bit more liquidity from the downside before it forms support and heads back up to retest the high? We'll wait and see what sort of information we have on the 30. But as far as resistance, let's just mark in current day's high. And to the left, we'll mark in levels on the 30 here, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make our way down to the M30 time frame now. So we are bullish on the 4 hour, but with the counter probabilities being to the downside. Now what I can see here, there we go, we got a catalyst on as far as any option to sell it. So I'm just going to adjust this zone now, and what we can see is we'll flip the structure bearish here on the M30 time frame. So therefore I could perhaps look for options to sell it. The one issue is though, selling at the current area wouldn't be the best idea, because you're selling into some pretty strong support, and to be honest, you could just drag that whole level down. That whole zone is not eye-catching. It doesn't look great on the screen. I mean, the reason why, because as soon as you break this support, you're running straight into the next support, and below that you've got more support to the left. So where do we have a more probable move? And that is when once price begins to pop below this support here at 33.44, we've got clean traffic to the left, clean move up. It's more probable that price will make a clean move back in the opposite direction. So off the back of that, I know my bias is bullish, and I know we are at a pretty solid level of support just now. So I'd be more inclined to look for options to buy it moving forward. Now, if we make a push to the downside, not at all concerned, fantastic. If it is a clean move to the downside, what that will do is cut through this support, cut through these wicks, and we could just be pulling back a little bit further to grab some more liquidity from the downside. And if I get a price action catalyst signal within price action, obviously from that support, anywhere really above 33.44, 45, I could look for an option to take a buy back up towards current daily candles high, or at least to the most recent resistance, which is this point here. So we're going to mark that level in as well. We're also going to see what we got above that point, if there could be options for a potential buy. So as far as gold, I'm just going to mark in the low here. Just going to leave that level in. I know you could mark in multiple levels here, but that is the level of preference for price to pull back to and to look for a price action catalyst. Doesn't mean I wouldn't look for it a little bit higher up. So that's the first potential option, guys. Looking for the buy from support if it does present. Now let's just quickly go down to the 15-minute time frame here. Don't really have much margin, but it looks like let's just quickly measure it in. Now you got nothing really. You got about 12 pips by the looks of it. Let me do this properly. Excuse me guys if I clear my throat a few times. Again, I'm still not 100%, but I am here nonetheless. So yeah, so above this resistance, it's more probable for price to make a move up. The issue is you're running straight into some more resistance to the left hand side, so similar to the downside. I mean, for the buys above, it's much cleaner if you were to wait for it to pop above 33.78. So it's a fair distance at this point away, but we've got clean traffic to the left above that point there. So that is definitely a level I would consider options to buy. And aside from that, what I'm going to be looking for is just if it does pop up and I can't get involved in a buy in the meantime, yeah, I'm just going to wait for price to either reject 33.76 to 74 for a potential option to sell it. Or even if it does now, seeing we are bearish in structure on the 30-minute time frame, even if we do flip back up just now and retest the resistance back here, the most recent resistance form within the current daily candle at 33.65, at that point there, I will also look for a potential option to take a sell. Once again, I just need to look for my price action catalyst, especially seeing it will be with the actual structure on the minor time frame here. So that is my plan moving forward here on gold today, guys. Hopefully it made sense. Nothing just now. Yeah, and we'll move on to have a look at the GJ. I'm just going to remove some of these zones quickly. Smash the like button, guys. Let's go. Smash the like button, and TikTok, smash that screen for me. All right, onto the GJ, and once again off the back of the previous weekly at this stage, and that is a weak bullish candle. Current weekly, not much of an upper wick. We are forming bearish, but we have tapped into what we will see is some support here on the higher time frame, on the daily time frame. We are respecting that level so far. We have a lower high, lower low to that previous candle, but I mentioned yesterday is a potential point where price could bounce off. We are hovering still above resistance also here to the left, so it's a pretty key level, that 193 sort of flat region. Structurally, we are still technically bullish on the daily time frame as well. So off the back of that and the back of where we're currently at, there could be options to look for the buys onto the 4 hour. Now we do remain bearish in structure on the 4 hour, and the 4 hour is still very, very nasty, very choppy price action here on the 4 hour. Just basically consolidating in a slow trickle to the downside, which off this particular time frame doesn't give me much confidence in taking any trade on GJ at the minute, until price has done what I always suggest in this situation. That's make clean moves to cut through these wicks, cut through the mess, open up the range to more probable entries. It actually did that on the 30-minute time frame yesterday, and it gave that potential entry in the end that we spoke about towards the end of the stream. I had a word about it to my guys. There would have been a way to possibly get involved. I was off making dinner, so I wasn't involved myself. But anyway, on to the 30-minute time frame here, and what we can see is, have we had a flip in structure? So we've technically closed below the lowest point in the previous lowest point. Therefore, we have also closed above the swing point here. So we're technically bullish here on a 30-minute. So it's against the 4 hour structure. The 4 hour is bearish. We've got 30 bullish. We've got the daily still technically being bullish along with the weekly. Believe it or not, bias is bullish, but I still kind of prefer the sells, just considering where we're at the minute on GJ. I have to leave the lowest point in, seeing as a 4 hour bullish low. Yeah, so on GJ here today, what I'll be looking for is at the minute, seeing we are pulling back, I want to see our price reacts to 193.50, a psychological round number. If we do reject the most recent resistance form within the current daily candle, and I potentially look for price action callousing. We have made a clean move up, relatively clean move back down, another clean move back towards that resistance. So I'm just gonna have to wait a price action callus if we do actually reject that 193.50 to 550 sort of region. So sells below that point there. Would I consider buys above? Let's have a look into 15. No, because as soon as you break the 30-minute resistance, you're running to 15-minute resistance. So just drag that up a bit. To be honest, the buys, unless it's coming from back at the support, I'm really not that keen on it. And I'm not that keen on GJ at all in the minute, to be honest. And I've not traded all that much at all you guys get the picture. Not traded all that much over the past few months, to be honest. So that's my opinion of it anyway. So it's pretty much just trading the range at the minute. Looking for sells below 195.50 basically. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Once again, we just wait patiently for our queue to enter the markets. At the minute there is no queue to enter, so we're just gonna wait, guys. In the meantime, hope you are all doing well. Thank you one and all for joining. To the 27 or so of you on YouTube, thank you once again. Franco, Lau, Steve, Tommy, always the same guys. Carl, Barman, yep, give it a like, appreciate you. 84 of you on TikTok, appreciate you guys. Welcome. Thank you to new followers. Let me skim through the chat quickly and see if I've missed anything. Forex, all good, mate, all good. Mark, yeah, all good, mate, hope you're well. Just seeing if I've missed anything. Astro, no, I have not been with that with TCG for a few years now, almost a year and a half. Gold trader 33.4250, 33.40 is my buying for 250. Okay, a little bit lower down, fair enough. Could adjust that across a little bit too, to be honest. Apologies once again, guys, if I keep clearing my throat and alright, what else have I missed? F90 was in a sell, went out before it had the huge drop. It happens, man. It's all good. Yesterday I took a small win on gold and ended up pumping. It is what it is. Should be happy. A win's a win. Don't be greedy. Except that's how you went about it, and you reassess and move on to your next potential option. That's what you got to do. If you're trading based on emotions, if you get pissed off because of a trade, then that's when you have issues. The only time I get pissed off is when I've broken a rule, because I know I shouldn't have done it, and it's when I get wrecked. Pretty much the only time I get absolutely wrecked. To that, I think it's the, I'm not sure if that's Greek or Russian, no offense if I'm offending anyone of that background, but whoever's asking people to send them a friend request, you're out, my friend. You get the same treatment everyone else does who comes onto this stream trying to hoax my people over. Guys, don't be daft, don't be stupid. Whatever you do, if someone sends you a DM and saying join my group or do this, do that, run for the hills. And if it's me, it's not me, so go figure. I will never initiate contact with you. So if someone claims to be me and they're asking you to send them crypto or whatever, or they can make your 1,000 into 100,000 in 2 weeks, don't be stupid. Please don't be stupid, guys. It's not me. I never initiate contact. You guys can, you're welcome to contact me. Man, this guy's trying really hard. How many is he fucking wanker? Yeah, spam chase gone. Don't worry, Angel. Okay, Angel. Just Shio. GMC's time 9 to 10, we will get a pullback. All right, we'll have a look. We'll see about that. GC, so you're looking at the futures. Yeah, still it's at support, similar at a similar level to the actual spot gold. Mark, yeah, you know what? It's a good idea. Now how do I do it? All right, and moderator. There you go. I think you now have. All right, hold on one sec. I have to allow moderators to turn off. Yep. All right, mate. There you go. Appreciate it. Designated survivor, go to you. Kang Bruok, welcome to you. Anyway, I think I've caught up with all of you in the chat. Mark, it's all good. Nice one. Laser Crypto Man and James, welcome guys. That just reminds me to my team. Let me send you guys a link. I've just forgot. Feel free to ask questions, guys. I will take a look at other charts and pairs if you so wish for me to do so. We had a good education session yesterday. We spoke about how we can use momentum and gauged volume, but just the strength of a candle, and use that as a way of getting involved in a trade, irrespective of price actually retesting a zone. Because usually when we want the closure above, for instance here, just using this as an example, but we haven't quite got the retest of that previous level on the following candle, how we can use the strength and momentum of a catalyst candle to validate a potential entry. That if prices to begin to break the high of that previous candle, is a high probability, so long as you have clean traffic to the left, that would still make the move up. Spoke about that. So similar to yesterday's trade, we spoke about a few other things as well. Spoke about how it could have possibly got involved in a GJ entry, which was just after the stream, which I did mention, but just wasn't setting up perfectly at the time, but it set up even better at about 15 minutes, half an hour later, I think it was. Jay, what's my bias in gold? Today, my bias is technically bullish. However, I'm not against the sells, especially if we are just to pop up from the current level. Yeah, so I can't buy off the back of 15 against the 30-minute. The 30-minute overrides the 15 at the moment. It's still a strong 30-minute candle. Plus the fact of the matter is, if it pops back up much further, closing to 15, a very strong bullish candle, you don't have the margin really at that point to even bother about buying it. So I'd just rather wait for it to pop up and reject, or look for it to possibly reject 33, 65, 66. But for the minute, I just need to be patient about it and not try to jump into anything, you know, second rate, or not even second rate. It's not even that minute. GJ rejecting that resistance, pop straight up. Zeus, can you look at AU, please? Not how I like to look at, because I don't like to trade it. Reason being, I don't want the Aussie dollar going down. Joseph R, never accept friend request. Guest, sorry, multi-guest request, sorry, friend request. Yep, I can't afford to, because I don't want the stream to get banned if someone says something stupid or... Alright, looking at AU here, and looking at the weekly, so similar to gold, but pulling back quite significantly at the moment. We're not engulfed in that previous weekly candle as well. So the difference here, as opposed to gold, is I feel there's still a high probability it could pull back and create that lower wick at the moment. We're respecting the high of that previous weekly candle. And we're currently pulling back quite significantly, looks like in the current day's candle. Yep, daily time frame looks very difficult here. It's just real heavy consolidation at the minute, slowly trickling to the upside. And it looks like a I think you call it in the when you're talking about chart patterns or like crap, which I don't look at personally. I think that's a good thing for bullish probabilities. I could be wrong again. I don't use chart patterns, so I'm not the one to ask when it comes to that. But anyway, structurally, what we do have is a bullish. Well, it is bullish on the daily time frame. Handles though, so we are rejecting that resistance here to the left hand side, looking at the 4 hour, and that is still bullish from this big move to the upside. But again, count probabilities are to the downside. But seeing we've got a lower high, lower low, there is not much of a need for us to pop back up and break our own high. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what we've got back above the current 4 hour counter high. We are actually tapping into a support here to the left, marking that bearish low for the time being. And yep, I'll keep that in, seeing it is low of 30 minute. May just adjust it slightly. And perfect. What I'll be looking at here on AU, if it were me, is, so the 30 minutes technically going to be, it's bearish at the minute. I would look for price to, seeing we're at a 4 hour support, and if we were now to continue bearish, there is not much of a need for us to pop back up, close above that previous resistance, most recent resistance. And if we did so with the clean traffic to the left, bouncing off the 4 hour support, now I feel there's a high probability what we have done by bouncing at this level is just grab some liquidity from the downside in order to potentially make the move back up, and then we could just be trade range bound here on the 4 hour. So I'd be looking for the buys above 64,690 to be exact. Not sure if you're gonna have the margin to sell if it does reject that zone. Otherwise, further sells, I mean, you're probably best way for it below 64,420. Not even a great deal of margin at that point there. Look, if it were me, I'd just be looking for the buys and wait for, if you can't get involved, if it does fly up, look to see if it does reject, for options to sell it. Otherwise, buys above that previous daily counter high look pretty good as well. So that's my personal quick opinion of AU. GJ's rejecting big time. All right, London Open. Just realized, almost missed it. Surprised no one reminded me. All right, so London Open here, guys. Again, off the back of the 30, I have no option to buy or sell gold in a minute. It's an ugly mess on the 30. It's just consolidating. It's right back in the consolidation. So for me, it's bounced off the support. I'm still favoring options below 33.65, and we may consider, just maybe, the options above that 36.37.50, but highly unlikely. It depends. To be honest, I'm not so concerned by this bullish candle wick. I'm more concerned by the resistance form just after it. So potentially above 33.70 roughly, guys. We could almost just drag that up. And I actually feel quite comfortable about looking for the buys above that point. So I'm just going to shift that zone up. And I can also look for the sells from really any point of rejection within it. So below 33.69.50 roughly. And yeah, that is a better area, I feel. We've got clean traffic on to the left above 33.70 up to 33.74.60 roughly. So that to me looks like a more probable level to get involved in the buys. Joseph, 3,400 today. Maybe, mate. I'm not so worried about that. I'm just worried about most recent price, where we're at now, current price actually. Christos, what do you think about the rose? Excuse my ignorance. What are we referring to? It's a beautiful flower. Oh, I like flowers, but anyway. Remeni, one. What entry? If there's an entry to be taken, I'll call it, but there isn't at the minute. I called it yesterday. I always do call if there is one. Rennie K, gold buy. Yeah, not in the minute, but potentially. Joseph, oh, okay, all good, all good. 3,400, you're thinking today? Possibly. Possibly, but again, I'm more focused on where we're at now because I'm not swing trading. I'm just looking to get my small movements within the market. So I'm not so concerned by where price could end up, you know, later on today. I'm more concerned about where we are now and how I can potentially get involved in a trade. J9, why is it going up? Been bought up. There's liquidity to the upside, there's more volume to the upside, there's more buyers present in the market, and the minute's pulling back a bit. When it comes to fundamentals, obviously there's a lot going on to do with bond yields and things like that, and war and all that sort of stuff, gold being that safe haven asset. Steve, thank you, great stream. Would you comment on GU? I most certainly will have a look at it for you. All right, looks very similar to gold at the minute, but let's do the top down nonetheless. All right, so similarly to gold and AU, we are forming a pretty strong bullish candle, not pulling back as hard as AU here. Still have a small lower wick on weekly, but still at this rate, still based off the previous weekly candle. But again, we are still hovering above a resistance to the left hand side, so again a pretty strong level. It is remaining above daily, quite evident there. We have tapped into the resistance, only to form support, very strong support albeit as well. So above the current day's high though, we are running into some more strong resistance, so it's a pretty tricky one here. But what we do have is structure to the upside, just marking the current daily candle as low, and just want to see what we've got below that point. Onto the 4 hour time frame, we are bullish, and we do have the candle probabilities also to the downside though at the moment. So if we were to look for a sell, that's something we can use. The fact that we have the 4 hour creating a lower high, lower low. We also have some pretty clean traffic to the left hand side here down to the support. So technically bullish. The M30, the way I see it's also technically bullish. We've not confirmed a higher high, we've not closed above this swing high, so we're bullish. That was the highest point of the impulse to the upside. This is the origin of the swing, therefore it's long to remain between this low here 134.730 and this high. If we don't close above it, 135.576, anything in between we're technically bullish. Doesn't mean I'm so fixated on the buys, because what we can see is we have within the current daily candle, we are forming bearish, and we're also starting to form a little bit of structure within that candle, creating some lower highs, lower lows. We've also got clean traffic to the left below that previous 4 hour candle's low, which was a bearish candle. We are rejecting a 4 hour resistance as well. So you can see how I'm gathering confluences in order to give you a higher probability to take a sell at the minute. So what I'd just be waiting for GU here is just a simple closure below 135, 112, retest, and then look for a potential sell if that was to present. Now aside from that, you could also look for the options to buy if it does present a signal from this level. So that's what I'll be looking at for the potential buys. Otherwise, you may, I don't think you got the margin above this resistance. Yeah, so therefore it's just really a matter of waiting for it to pop back above 135.576 roughly, or rejection of that zone as well around at 135.5. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, back to gold, and GJ is melting. Oh shit. What these guys? No upper wick. Yeah, irrespective, I wouldn't have taken it. It's got no low wick on the previous candle, no upper wick in the current candle. So a lot of the time what that is meant by is a candle that will just create a small low wick and pop straight back up, and we end up back at the resistance. Not always, but a lot of the time, so that's why I wouldn't consider taking that. KNKY, thank you for the rose, appreciate it. How are you, mate?
Very well, are you?
All good, all good. Been a while. Good to have you back on the course.
Thank you for that. What's your view on GJ sells below 193?
Yeah, looks good.
Only on the 30 minute it looks so clean, but on the 4 hour and the daily, as you kind of intimated before, there's just so much support down there.
30 and 15 look very clean. Yeah, the 4 hour, I mean, you still have a little bit of margin on the 4 hour either way. So off the back of that, I would still, yeah, be keen for sure. Because you still got 25 plus pips on the 4 hour, but on a 30, it's even cleaner. Actually, the 30, you've got about the same. No, for sure, I'd be definitely considering it. Definitely. But I want it to be below because it is the 4 hour low. So I want it to close below that 4 hour counter's low on the 30. Or try to...
I'm assuming it's fair.
Yeah, preferably. Yeah, 100%. And the only other thing I would consider is if we do have the volume, if we, you know, close very close to the low, and potentially the impulse entry based off if we do have a valid breakout trade. But it does actually look pretty good. So I'll put that in actually. Nice one, mate. Zeus, all good. Secret account. I'm in a 3x margin trade right now on BTC. I wish you luck. TFX connect, bro. So gold buys, do your breakout trade then. I've got many different ways to get involved in trades. Breakouts are one of them. It's not my favorite, to be honest, but I have a very high probable way. I was going to say surefire way, but there is no real such thing. But there is a way simple rules that I stick to validate a breakout that work for me. And if it does validate, if it does present, then I will consider breakout trades. But otherwise, I'm not just going to place buy stops, sell stops on a break of resistance or support. If only it was that simple. Sia, right now this is gold. Steve, all good. Sandro, buy gold. Yeah, this rate is more probable for me just because of where we're at. I'm not going to sell into the support. Joseph, 33.80 soon. Again, potentially, but I'm not so worried about that for the minute. Silver Tech, thank you for the sticker. Rusty, keep up good work. Thank you, my friend. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Still respecting that key level I mentioned on the high time frame. All right, weekly. Back to the previous strong bearish. The daily. Keep bouncing off this 103, 104 region. Long wick on that previous daily. Candle closing back above 105. Current candle high, low, higher, high. This is marking the current daily low. See what I've got below it. Structurally, it is bullish with candle probabilities being to the upside, although it is forming bearish. 4 hour, we are bearish in structure with the candles also now being to the downside, respecting and rejecting some resistance here to the left. So the 4 hour may suggest that we could have some room to head back down still towards, first of all, 104 and then potentially 103, that sort of region. Now on sort of 30 and it's really dark, hold on. On sort of 30, and that is definitely in an uptrend, and that will remain an uptrend really until back below the support 105, 103, sorry, 650 roughly. So for me, off the back of that, if prices to begin to break the support formed at the current daily candles low, seeing we have rejected a 4 hour resistance, if we were to break the support formed, and begin to pop below it. Now I feel there's probabilities that price can make a deeper pullback, and that could provide some sell options below 105.122 roughly. And we are just consolidating now. However, so if price was to close above that 105, just drag that up, 580 sort of region, starts running some clean traffic to the left to take it back up towards the current daily counter size. So seeing we're consolidating, I don't trade out of consolidation. I wait for a confirmation and simply wait for a closure, either above, below, retest, and then look for the option to take an entry. And it's exactly how I would be playing Bitcoin for the time being. TFX Connect, how far can retest Gbpjpy on Bitcoin? I reckon 104 is a strong level. Very strong level, 104. And we are in pretty solid uptrend, so seeing we are in a strong uptrend at the moment, if we are to continue the uptrend, I would expect the buyers to step back in as they've done so every other time. Most recently, the most recent past, when prices pulled back to that level, we stepped back in and brought it up pretty hard. So I would say that 104 region. TFX, when you say retest, what it comes back into the range? No, it's already in a 4-hour range at the minute. That's the 4-hour range, that's the highest, that's what's technically lower down the actual support, but I'm focused on more recent for the time being. Oh, you're talking about the consolidation? No, I'm talking about just the closure below, and then for the following candle to tap back into it, and if it begins to break that candle's low, so for instance that will look like so to the downside. So seeing it's consolidating, I want to see something like this. I want a strong indication that maybe rates to continue bearish, break through and close below the consolidation. Then I want the following candle to pull back, retest it, and simply look for the next candle to begin to flip back bearish and break the low of our catalyst candle for potential sales, and vice versa to the upside. Doesn't have to make an actual proper break and then wait for 2 or 3 bullish candles to pull back and retest. Hopefully that made sense. We are quite choppy at the minute here on gold. Let's have a look at a 5-minute. Yeah, forming a little bit of structure here on a 5-minute. Have formed a resistance. So even if we were to correlate with a close above that on, like, let's just say a 15-minute strong closure above, or a 30, you just don't have the margin. And you're right back into consolidation there. So at this rate, I still can't see any buys from the current level unless we pop down a little bit lower. TFX, lower time frames do you go down to for the second candle? Basically the 15, mate. Cato scat? No idea. This is all about education, my friend. About free education here on the daily on TikTok and YouTube. TFX, you wait for 4-hour candle close out first, then go to 15-minute. No, 30 or 15 will be all right here on Bitcoin. This is consolidating on that particular time frame. What I mentioned was the 4 hours rejecting the resistance here to the left hand side, and is actually bearish the way I determine structure. It will remain bearish at this point until it closes back above 108, 930. Doesn't mean I only consider selling it because other time frames are bullish. It's just this one particular time frame. So what I'm now to wait for is, again, I know we're bullish in the other time frame, so I could still look for options to buy it. I would say on Bitcoin, a 15-minute is sufficient enough, similar to what I might look at on gold and NAS. So that would be just waiting for a closure above, waiting for the next candle to retest and then begin to break the candle's high, or below, waiting for the next candle to retest and begin to break the candle's low. TikTok, keep smashing that screen for us. Don't stop, ladies and gents. I reckon we got the best winning record pretty much of any of the streams. Give out free education on a daily. So guys, least you can do is just smash that screen for me. The tunes are pretty good too, just saying. Wow, GJ. That's all right. I like this because it's a clean move. So we're cutting through that crap. Cutting through these wicks at the minute. So that's a good thing, because even if it does respect the current level and we get a signal from within price action, we could have options to potentially look for the buys from support here on GJ. My hammies and my glutes are absolutely killing me. Absolutely destroyed me at the gym yesterday. Should do a gym stream. I just couldn't do it. I feel so embarrassed. People look at you like, what the fuck's this idiot doing? Mr. Clips, no entry at the minute. TFX into the range. Would this be a fake out then, or I assume you're talking about Bitcoin? The rejection of the 4-hour resistance, you mean? Nah, I wouldn't say it's a fake out. It's just grab liquidity from a level of liquidity. So there's going to be orders built up. It's a level where prices retested and rejected multiple times here. So it's just the level that sometimes price would like to pull back to in order to grab some more orders in order for it to either reject and make the move back down, or if it was to consolidate, grab that liquidity in order to make the move up and continue in line with the trend. So I wouldn't call it necessarily a fake out. Because what it has done is basically come back down to retest the resistance. It's not quite actually tapped into it though. Yeah, either way, I wouldn't call it a fake out. TFX, like look of your strategy. Thank you, mate. That's again more than 8 years now of training experience and putting it all together. 15 months of documenting it all into a PDF and also videos, which created the course, which is also included for my team.
GJ's on a mission.
Oh wow, it's absolutely dumping. no lower. So this is the opposite to gold yesterday. Gold flew to the upside without any lower wick. Wow. What's it?
Yeah, that's the problem. Any trade that gets taken on this hourly, you're taking a sell on an hourly with no upper wick.
Yep, that too. Plus you got to consider the fact that it's already pushed some 30 plus pips just to get to below this level. I need a pause 100% before I'd be comfortable taking a trade. I need at least a 15-minute weak bullish pause just to get below, trigger in some buys, reject this zone, and then I'd consider a sell on GJ. Without it, there's a few issues here. Stop loss is huge. I'm not going to roll with a stop loss here on the 15 where we've had to travel from how far just to get involved in a trade. So from its highest point to this point, plus 20 pips. Got 7 minutes left on this M30. There's just nothing. I can't take it off the back of that. We've literally come from the resistance formed around the Asian, during the Asian session, just below the high of the day. So I need to see some sort of pause here, at least on the 15-minute time frame. Let it reset. I'm sure that's probably what you're thinking as well, James. Something similar.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, we'll watch JJ for a bit because gold is just doing nothing at the minute. Kian, what pair is this? This is GJ at the moment, Great British Pound, a Japanese yen. Thank you, Mark, for answering some of those questions. Let's go, guys. Smash that screen for us, TikTok. Don't forget to follow. I do this on a daily. All out, you know, free trades, education. That's what I'm all about here. Give it away for nothing. I give away a lot more than most other streamers would. Watch gold on my MetaTrader in case it decides to actually do something. Was none too impressed when I saw that silver had pumped. It's retracing. Once again, I'm a big believer in silver. I just don't want it to take off just yet. All right, let's quickly take a look at things. So GJ is just melting, and congratulations if anyone isn't a GJ trader. Just for me, there's no solid confirmation. Everything was just very risky and impulsive. GA looking great. EU just consolidating. Very ordinary price action here on EU. GU went over before, want it to pull back. It's tapped into that support. Trading above it, also not looking great. AU we spoke about before as well, still best above 64,690 at the minute. Euro CAD, same thing, just everything is consolidating at the minute except for the yen pairs. EJ, yeah, very similar to GJ.
Hey, good morning, Justin.
How are you, mate?
Hi. Yeah, fine, thank you. And you? Are getting better?
Yeah, getting better. Still nose is giving me a few headaches, but otherwise all right, mate. Getting better.
So I was outside. I was at my mother doctor.
Yep. Hopefully that all's good.
So yeah, so they need some a cure on the eyes.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, but everything is okay. Did I miss something?
No, charts have been ordinary. Goals has been in consolidation. Nothing. GJ's just melting for whatever reason, but it's just come from a too far to look for any entry below this level, even though it's pretty clean to the left.
Also,
yeah.
the other yen pairs are going down.
Yeah, I'd still consider it if the next candle closes weak. It's so long as this candle closes below, and if the following candle closes like this, my guys will know exactly what I'm looking for. If the following candle closes something like that, right, that minor weak support below the previous level of support. So that in this case, to me, that would suggest it's acting as resistance. And if the following M15 was to open up, create a small upper wick, once again reject this zone and begin to pull away, break below the minor pause candle, then I feel there's a high probability at that point there we could actually make the move back down towards this 190 to 750 sort of region. That is why I need to wait for a next possibility on GJ to validate an entry. That may not happen.
I was looking on EU. On the M30 looks good, but on the M50,
yeah,
there's a
actually,
resistance there.
True. 30 does look good. 15, not the greatest.
And GU, okay, yeah, it's also not so good. If you are closing above this resistance there, maybe, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, but leaving this long wick here on the M30 time frame.
Yeah, see, I like that as well, because you've tapped into multiple times to reject. You've also tapped into the support multiple times, so it's kind of like an arm wrestle now within this minor range here on the M30, and it's just a matter of what side it's going to decide to break to. But whether or not it actually allows for that closure above retest is another story, because what it could do in this situation, as we clearly know, these levels or these areas of consolidation generally is liquidity being built up into the market. Sometimes you can just do this and you don't have the margin there to trade it. We're fully aware of that. But then sometimes it will do, and it's done that on stream where it's done this for us, just close just above, and it's retested, and then we've got the option to trade it.
It's bouncing back from a H4 support there.
Oh, is it? I mean,
so, yeah. If you make.
Oh yeah, true. Yep, 100%.
So it's yeah, it's strong at the end.
Yep. So even stronger.
Back from that. Mm-hmm.
Even stronger confirmation. So look for the buy above. Yeah. 135, 370. Yep, 100%. So actually it doesn't look too bad, GU. Looks better than gold at the minute. Alright, so not great here on GJ because we're actually closing above the lowest point here on the 4 hour. 15, 30. Well, let's just see how the next 15-minute candle closes here on GJ. Dow Jones. Boomer. Yeah, it's just gold is just in consolidation. Ronaldus, nice one. Val gold reversal yet. It's not really doing it. It's just consolidating, mate. There's nothing on gold. Offline gold has broken support. Yeah, it's just got lots of support levels low to the left on the minor time frame, so it's still respecting the most recent one though. Is it better to wait for? Yeah, for the yen news to come. It's supposed to be scheduled for the next 15 minutes, I think it was. Uh, 20 minutes, just under. Things it's a speech, so it's a bit unpredictable, the speeches, because it just depends on the wording of what comes out of the mouth of the Bank of Japan here, the governor. So yes, it will impact, and these speeches are often more difficult to trade or trade around than actual scheduled news themselves. 7 4-hour trendline break looks like a sell. Okay, fair enough. Don't trade trend lines. But on the 4 hour, let me look. Yeah, I mean, it's so subjective as to how you draw in a trend line. I've seen people draw it in like so. And I would say, well, it's nowhere near a trend line. Then you see others drawing in, connecting the bodies. Now I just don't understand. Like, yeah. For me, what works is support resistance, just zones where price taps into. And look for price to sweep those levels and look for options either side of it, or you know, within it, or either side of it. Crypto with you, go. Let's go. Let's go. We'll be on for MY with my team later on. Guys, I just want to mention something for those of you who are here in my group. I really do highly recommend getting more involved. Be active in the chat. Because the fact of the matter is, it's not expensive. It's actually very cheap. It's pretty much the same as a bloody streaming service, what I charge. But a lot of people will come. They'll come for a month. I'm not sure what they expect from it. There is heaps of content. There's the course, which is 140 plus pages roughly. There is all the educational videos. There is so much content. It's hours, probably more than 100 hours, much more, I'd say. There's heaps of content, put it this way. But I never hear from the majority of the people that join, and then they leave. Some will leave after a month, which is fair enough, and don't say you have to stay that long, but how could you determine whether it's something that works or not if you'd never even question anything? You know, I don't even know for the life of me if you're going through the content or not. It's all there, but I keep putting questions out there. How are we going? Any questions? There's only so much I can do. I can't hand feed you guys, you know what I mean? So I always strongly encourage all my team to ask questions. That's what I would do. That's what I did in the previous groups that I was involved in. I constantly ask questions. I mean, James will remember too. I used to sound like an absolute dickhead because I couldn't even string a proper sentence together. I was so shy back then. But how good was it? Because all of us kept asking questions. None of us were shy to ask what we want to know. Because the fact of the matter is, if you don't, then you're just waiting for someone else to ask the question, never gets asked, and then you just, oh, fuck this, I'll cancel my membership. Haven't even gone through the content, haven't bothered to ask questions, haven't been on any of the streams or any of the private calls or anything. I can understand some people working don't have time for that, but I just don't see the point, to be honest. Like, if you're gonna do it, give it a go. Give it a go. Go through the content, question me. Ask me questions. Join on as many of the calls as you can. When I ask about the education session, what you'd like me to go over, let me know, guys. It's just, I know you know, some of you more experienced, you're just here for the support and that. But yeah, just wanted to put it out there.
I wonder if it's a reflection on the fact that trading tends to attract people who think they're going to be millionaires in 3 months, and then
Probably.
they realize actually it doesn't work like that.
Nah.
They leave.
It could be to do with that. That's the thing. I think a lot of people think, all right, I'm going to join a group, and all of a sudden that's it. I'm going to be a legendary trader now. That's all I need to do. This guy's going to show me everything, which I do, but you got to put it to work. I can't actually put it to work for you. I can't, test these things out. It takes time, because you may see something that you think is, according to the course or whatever, a good entry, then you've totally missed something, because that comes with time on the charts. But yeah, look, we all go through that. I joined a group years and years ago, which includes signals, and I thought, that's it, never gonna have to work again in my life. I lost more money than I actually, than what it was worth. I lost a heap of cash in that particular service. So I wanted to learn for myself. The only way to do it is to question, ask questions. Lively, Laura, all good. TFX, it's the group, it's the VIP group, so that's $30 US a month. That's just the standard VIP, and that gets you everything. That gets you, you know, all the calls, all the MY calls, all the education calls, all the private sessions, all the sim sessions, and the course. Plus, I mean, how much there is, like, grading the trade entries is like a pretty much like a light version of the course. That is a cracking series that we went over a couple months back. Mark, they probably join for signals, whereas you are more educator. Yeah, and I do give out trade ideas, and I just, like I mentioned, I'm not going to sit on the charts all freaking day hunting trades, because that's not me. That's not what I do. I've spoken about this to a few of my guys, you know, Franco spoke about it too. It's just, it's not what I do, because I teach to hunt. Well, not to hunt. I teach to wait patiently for the chart to come to you. I teach the guys to spot quality entries, not, you know, quantity. Because, you know, sit there all day, you're likely going to make mistakes. You're going to force something, and you're going to look back at it and think it's a shit trade. I just had to try to find something. It's not what I do.
Also, every single trade you take is either on the trade ideas or on the stream.
Yeah, or
So
MY. Yeah.
Yeah, or I suppose sometimes on the MY call. But if you're on the group, you have access to every single one of those trades. So your results should end up looking the same as one.
Exactly. It's just so happens to be that some of those trades, you know, I'm calling it 5 minutes before a potential entry, sometimes 2 minutes. There's not much I can do about it, because I need to wait for the signal. And I don't get the signal confirmation sometimes till the very last second of the candle. But every trade is documented, every single trade. A plus trades can look, yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as a guarantee when it comes to trading, but there's high probabilities. That's what we trade based on. So at the minute, I know GJ wasn't a high probability entry to take or to place a sell stop coming from where it come from. I need to let it reset. At the minute, I still need to wait. I'm not seeing yet at this point I'm struggling. A quality confirmation. So this rate, it could be this 15-minute closing bullish followed by a bearish closure below, preferably engulfing, and that will be a catalyst. That will be a strong signal for me to sell it. Gary, how's it going this morning? Yeah, all good, mate. Just patiently waiting. Nothing as yet. TFX, it's just follow the... Have a look at the link in my profile, mate. You can send me messages as well, you guys, if you want to know more. If you can't work out how to get involved, but all good. Crucifix, what's your thoughts on negative risk to reward? I'm not so bothered by it, as long as it's not a massive one, to be honest. Like, negative risk to reward to me, I always try to have a positive one, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna look for at least a 1-to-1. But what I mean by having a positive one, I still favor a trade that, you know, maybe I've got a 20 pip stop loss and I've got the margin for it, a clean traffic for it to potentially move, you know, 30-40 pips. At least that 1-to-1 minimum, but usually it's more, usually 2-to-1. But I'm not on gold a lot of the time of late. My stop loss has to be quite wide due to the volume of these candles. They're pretty strong candles for the most part. Don't look it, but there is a lot of pips within most of these candles. So therefore, I'm still going to, especially when we're trading within a range, what I would suggest is if you are buying from support, selling from resistance, or trading within a 4-hour range, then what you do need to remember is the range holds priority. So the range is not going to be squeaky clean. There's going to be some wicks in between, which price could potentially reject. So I always say when you're trading within the range, don't be so greedy. Try to secure something. If I've got a 30-40 pip stop, I'm still going to look to secure something maybe at 15, 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, depending on how much margin I have, and leave that runner. So I want to have enough margin of at least that 1-to-1 where I can leave that runner to do its thing if it does actually continue to push in my direction. But otherwise, I'm not so bothered by it. Reason being as well is because I know for a fact that I will be managing my trade. If it does begin to go against me, I'll begin to cut positions according to technical reasons to do so. I have a method that works for me, which I do mention on stream if I'm in a trade that goes against me. But I'm looking at where I might adjust my stop loss or where I might begin to cut, half in a drawdown. So I know I'll always manage my position in a drawdown. So therefore, even if I've got a negative as far as like I'm 40 pips stop, but I'll start to take profit at 15. For the most part, I'm cutting positions also around that 10 to 15 or 20 pips as well. Excuse me. So hopefully that makes sense, but that's my thoughts. TNT, you bullish in gold as well? Gary, yeah, that's also a good comment. You stick to rules and you got a good win rate, you'll likely get it back, or you will get it back. Kimura, oh, we look down trim right now. This is GJ at the minute, so pound yen, and the way I see it, I think the bias was technically bearish, although we've not yet flipped structure on the 30, so I think it's neutral at the minute, but potentially it could be flippy. So I need a catalyst right now. Seeing we're back above this support, I would prefer to wait. Ooh, well, I want to see a candle closing back bullish. I would really love to see this 15 close back bullish and then possibly wait for the next candle to close. Gold is just shit in the minute. Gold is looking like what GJ normally is during our session. Is there any interruption plays? Anything? No, I don't see any decent entry here at all on GJ. Just gotta let it do its thing. Cruise effects, all good, mate. Not a problem. All right, EU, GU rejecting, so GU back at the support. Again, good chance that once it decides which area, which side it wants to break to, that could make it a pretty decent move. But don't try to be first to the party. Let it give you some sort of confirmation, let it provide a signal. Don't try to anticipate it's going to make the move. Wait for it to confirm it. And if it just makes the move and you so happens to be that was the actual move and it melts or pumps, then you just need to reassess and wait for it to set up again. Absolutely nothing on gold at the minute. At 15 close. All right, close back bearish. Nothing on GJ as well. Not looking the greatest at the minute, to be honest, guys, but anyway. Mark, all good, mate. Thank you for your support. So now, but one, you found a side to trade, JJ. Yeah, look, it's not that difficult. You just need to be patient with it. That's my personal opinion. Pack to matrix, you're looking to what in gold itself? Well, if it does pop up from the current level, there is no area or clean area to buy it from at the current rate. So yes, I would prefer to look for a sell from back below 33.66, 68, that sort of region, and even lower down. Which pair is this? Musa, this is gold at the minute. That was pound yen before. Kimura, can you explain support and resistance? So support and resistance just levels that price have tapped into to the upside and downside. So obviously areas of liquidity. So obviously in an uptrend, price is going to pull back. So you're going to obviously have some bearish candles pulling price back. And then what happens is price will obviously, if it was to continue in line with the trend, form support and head back up, and that will create a level of support. So I mark mine in, you know, differently. Everyone else has different ways of marking in support and resistance. But it basically just levels of liquidity within the current daily candle. Prices create a low, lower high. At that point there, I've got a bit of a swing, so I can mark in a resistance. And therefore, I know that if price was to pull back and respect that point there, that resistance, we're likely going to continue to the downside. Doesn't mean we're going to trend all the way back down and make a bigger pullback. We may just be range bound. But until we break above it, that's when this resistance is potentially going to be turned into a support. So, like so. What we can see is we continue down, create a lower low, pull back, create a lower high, respecting resistance yet again, lower low. Most recent support here to the left we're currently at. I mean, you can draw in another level here. I'm just not going to bother because I'm not looking to buy it from the current level. I'd rather it pop down a little bit lower and tap into the level to the left hand side where price previously formed some support at on the move to the upside. So you're triggering some sellers and then you're triggering buys, which buys create the support. And when to the upside, you know, you create the high, you're triggering some sellers and they create the resistance. So at that point there, you got the resistance, break above it, continuing bullish, you form another resistance, so on and so forth. It's probably not the best definition of support and resistance. That's just how I see it. So support you can consider obviously like a floor, and resistance is like a ceiling. So if you logically, what happens if you break through one floor, you're going to retest it, one ceiling, you're going to retest it, and you're going to, if you are to remain above it, it creates that floor, and then you're likely going to head up to retest the next ceiling to, you know, smash into that next ceiling. Where if you have the volume, momentum with the trend and that type of thing, there's a good chance it's going to break through that ceiling and continue to trend bullish, and vice versa to the downside. Thank you to all new followers. Cruise effects, I've Australia that gives 60% on 1 to 2 risk reward. But the figure today that went 2 to 1, I win. More do you suggest I do? I don't know, maybe you just got to widen your target. I don't know, maybe you're where you're looking for trades. I have no idea what your strategy is. It's unfortunately it's not as simple, mate. You've either got to just have a wider target and allow it to do its thing more, or if you said you got a strong ring rate, just stick with it. Maybe hone in on trade management and working on how you can manage your trades in a drawdown, and that will, you know, probably help boost the profits. All right, let's watch GJ here. All right, so we potentially may have a bit of a signal. All right, 15-minute bullish engulfing. I want to see his 30 close back above the support because we've wicked down into the range below twice now. So if we were to close above here in the next 8.5 minutes, I would look to take a buy potentially here on GJ. Potentially, but I want it to close back above. Let's just see. The hourly is going to be a very strong bearish candle though. Really needs to close strong above, to be honest.
Do you then need to tap back into that grey zone after the close above? and then a break of the.
Yeah, that would definitely be a preference.
Or does it not need to do that?
Yeah, that would definitely be a preference. The thing is, I really want to close back above. Otherwise, it could just be a pause within price action. Maybe we'll just tap into that bullish candle low to grab liquidity before we continue. So I really want to close above and then, yeah, wait for it to create a low wick. Potentially close above that candle's high. Push above, sorry. Or even better yet, if the next candle closes a weak bearish candle, rejecting this support, leaving a long wick down into it, that would be a cracking entry if it was to present.
Dream.
Because then you form resistance back above support, and then therefore, if you have formed that resistance, then if you are to respect resistance, there's not much need to break it, and then maybe it's just the lower high and we're ready to continue bearish and possibly looking at some options to sell it. However, if it begins to pop above the resistance formed back above some previous support, which is also a 4-hour level, off the back of a 30-minute candle closing back above as well prior to it, there'd be a high probability that if it began to break that minor resistance, that it would break. Obviously, it's going to break the 30-minute candles high prior to that as well, or at the same time, sorry. And it's more probable it's going to make a move back up. That is like the A++ entry in this situation. But otherwise, I still would consider. We'll see. So now my thoughts on gold. It's very tricky at the minute. It's just consolidating. So I'd really want to make a clear move down now towards 33.48 or 46 and form support back above it. Consider any buys from the current minor range. Otherwise, if we did pop above the resistance here at 33.69.70, as long as you got the margin, there could be options to buy back up to 33.74 and buys above 33.78, clean traffic to the left. So I'm just looking at levels of resistance formed within the current daily candle, which is actually forming bearish. Now, if we do respect those levels of resistance, I could look for sells from maybe below 33.65, 33.68, or higher up 33.76 roughly. And no, what's the reason you put the white box on that? Here, it's a zone. So it's the low of the 4-hour zone, lowest point. So the bullish candle. Obviously, bullish candles confirm support. So when we're at support, I focus on the lowest point of any bullish candle at that point. Whether it be the 4-hour, 30, or 15. Right now, we've formed a lower a bullish candle on the 15, or potentially an M30. But for the minute, it's still that same 4-hour candle low. And I'm just connecting it to the closest body, and that determines that makes up my zone. Again, it's subjective. Everyone draws, or those who draw in zones, some don't even use zones. Everyone has a different way to go about marking support resistance. This is what works for me. 15. Definitely the better option is definitely waiting for that 15-minute pause. But if we do close above, I will see, as long as we create that low wick first. During Gapala, is it still bearish? In regards to what gold is just consolidating in an uptrend, but the 30-minute structure, the minor time frame structure is bearish. GJ at the minute, you can almost say it's flipped back bearish to 30. All right, now we need to determine, do we have the margin as well? At the minute we do. Val, that is support zone, bro. Yep, we can buy EU, BJT, Alman. If you suggest, I don't see it as a buy at the minute. Val seems gold won't be doing much in the next 30 minutes. Not at the moment, looks pretty ordinary. Res, at the moment looking at pound yen. What's the highest point now? 144. Spread's about a pip on at the minute, and it's a bit wider than normal. Really not traded GJ much at all for this year, to be honest. Not even a lot of the time I just look at it and think, nah, looks like shit, won't bother. User will drop what? Pound yen or gold? Well, then we fly. Res? No, not in any trade at the minute. User GJ down. I mean, it could if it respects this level. That's why I want it to close above. Has to close above. Just over a minute remaining.
That's the thing, if it closes below, it looks like a perfect retest of that level to the left, doesn't it? Left of that, yeah, in the zone.
Yeah, that's why it needs to close above. Wick down. Bounce back off this level again. So at the minute it could be valid. 144. I'd be looking around 160 as a potential entry point at this rate. A.C.T, thank you for sharing a live. Val, is it solid entry? I've got a catalyst. I've got 15-minute engulfing closing the M30 back bullish at a strong level of support back above the 4-hour zone. So to me, it's a quality entry. The best possible entry at this point would be to wait another 15 minutes to see if you get a minor resistance form, but still have a valid entry to take it prior to that, potentially. Coming down to the last few seconds here. So it looks like we're going to close. What's the odds to close this right at it? Yeah, basically right at it. All right, let's weigh a few factors up here. The hourly closes strong bearish. 30s close bullish. We've got that catalyst. All right. Tapping into the support again. So look, it's valid, but I wouldn't want it to melt too far. Because at the minute, what's the stop loss? Let's just, I said at 160 would be the potential entry point, so that's literally there. 21 pips. Bit of volume to the downside. Open up the alley. We are at the, obviously it's at the support here. So I think if it flips and begins to break above that previous candle's high, it's not a bad option. I wouldn't want it to take too long into this 15-minute candle though. Begins to draw towards the close, then I'd rather just wait for that minor pause on the 15 here. That would be, in my opinion, that's the most solid possible entry at the minute. Oh, my MagicKeys not working. All right, here we go. All right, so your options are $160. Stop loss back below previous M15. And now, again, if this draws towards the last few minutes of the M15, I just wait for it to close. If it closes like this, you could have an entry even before that level as it begins to break above the weak 15-minute pause. That's what you could be currently looking at. I'm not prepared to take it until it breaks and flips, breaks above the high of that previous candle. So that's a dipping a bit above that previous candle's high. That's what I'm currently looking at. But again, if it draws towards the end of the 15, I'm going to remove the order. Pum, hello to you. Wizop Travels, pair. This is pound yen. Love that. Yeah, the hourly doesn't look fantastic, that's for sure. But we are respecting the support. We have created a decent lower wick now. Tarek, why should I check the volumes? What makes you think I need to check volume? Again, this is my stream. This is the way I trade. I trade based off pure price action. Not care less about a volume indicator or any indicator for that matter. So if you think differently, fair enough, but I don't need it. Clutching straws? Maybe, but again, I've got a 15-minute engulfing. I've got the 30 closing back bullish, back above the 4-hour support here, or back above a support, sorry. And if it doesn't present, I'm all good. Yeah, I'm not gonna force anything. All I'm doing is reacting to my signal. That's all I'm doing. Titanium blade, sorry. Titanium blade, what pair? This is pound yen. Zal Parker. Check gold. Yeah, gold's shit at the minute. There's nothing on gold. Strategy hop events. Are you using level 2? What is level 2? I have no idea. Matt D, what zone now buy? I don't understand. Tariq, fair enough. Personally need volume to understand the order trending, but each zone, that's it. Like I say, if it works for you, fantastic. I just don't see a need for it the way I trade. SSS, I've not traded gold today. I've not taken a trade on gold. It's looking a bit better now. It's making a bit of a move and a cleaner move up. So potentially moving forward, I could look for maybe possibilities to trade it. But at the minute, there is nothing I can do with gold. It looks a mess. No lower wick in a new candle, but we're creating some lower highs, lower lows in the daily candle itself. GJ looks like shit, by the way, guys. Now it's pulling back further. Yeah, I'm gonna remove the order. Not liking it just now. I'm gonna wait. What is wrong? I was gonna say my MetaTrader is on delay today. Yeah, so next option would be to wait for the 15-minute. If it closed weak bearish, I may consider it again. That's what I'll probably wait for now. If it closes bearish engulfing, then the sells are on. Triple S yesterday. We took a buy on stream, mate. I took a win on stream. Didn't trade after the stream. Did an education session with my team, but I didn't trade. Brody, how do you trade on lower time frames? Quite easily. Just look for price action signals and my levels that I want to get involved in a trade. Oh, God. Wow. If only it was a 4-hour level. Narendra UJ. Sorry guys, just 1 minute. All right, UJ, let's quickly look at the top-down analysis here. So weekly, no upper wick. Very strong level of support though. It keeps bouncing off at the minute. Yeah, it's a difficult area on the weekly time frame. Still based off the previous day, is a weak bullish candle. If we remain above this support though, I feel there's a high probability we could still flip. Look, there it is on the daily. Very strong level of support that we're currently at. Structure wise, it is technically bullish the way I see it. Just disrespecting support here. Onto the 4 hour. So it's a key level here on the higher time frame. 4 hour structure itself is technically bearish, but once again, irrespective of that structure on that time frame, structure on this particular time frame, we are at a very strong support. So I'd probably prefer to look for options to buy it just off the back of that. 30-minute is also in an uptrend at the minute. Broke closed above that swing point just there to flip the structure back bullish. So therefore my bias would be to the upside. Excuse me. Here today on UJ, your options would be to look for pullback buys. So I'd probably now focus on price. We're right in the middle of the range, so coming back down, I avoid the sells below this point here. Not a great deal of margin. You could potentially, if you got a bearish engulfing, I would consider it the sell below this bullish candle. Otherwise, wait for price to pop back down, look for it to form support, head back up from that 142.35, 36 region. Below it, you're gonna flip the structure. You could have some options to potentially sell it. Otherwise, buys above the daily candles high, the resistance formed at that level there. Is how I look at UJ. Excuse me. Joseph, what is your win rate, sir? Well, it was in there until my bloody Streamlabs, for some reason, the bloody setups all changed as I went to start the stream. 80, just over the entire stream win rate for the past just over a year I've been on stream is 80.77, I think. This year it's around 82% for the current year though. So it's something like 105, 106 wins and 20 something losses all up.
OG was breaking support.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Maybe waiting. Yeah. The issues right now. So, do I wait for the closure of the M50, and then maybe get in, or should I wait for the M30 right now? So I know I missed some trades right now in the past. Waiting for the M30 to close.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for some entries here on the M50.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Just be, you know, more strict with it, like wanting it to perhaps tap in, retest. But I can definitely understand it.
Yeah, because the traffic looks on the left side looks good.
Yeah, very clean
as well. So, yeah.
Yep. Does look like a decent option. Same with GJ at the minute. See how this 15 closes. Pum waving from INA. Make your videos delay your voice through me first. I'm not sure, mate. It could be issues with the internet. I'm not sure. Turret fib levels? No, I use the fib very differently. I use the fib to gauge strength of a candle against the previous candle or within itself to determine whether it's a strong or weak closure, to determine whether I've got a potential impulse entry or if I have to wait another 15 minutes or so. I use it very differently, the fib. Val, my risk to reward ratio, it just depends. Every trade's different. I don't have a fixed where I need to, you know, have at least a 1-to-1 or 1-to-3 or 1-to-4, whatever. Each trade is unique and different from the previous, so it just goes by. I just need to have, first of all, the margin to be able to secure some profit. And if I do so, I have to clean traffic, then I'm not so concerned by having that, having to have a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3, or whatever. Again, I'm scalping, so I'm just looking for quick moves. Ren, thank you for the heart, by the way. Thoughts on EU? All right, so EU, we're just looking at before. It's just at a pretty tricky level at the minute. It's at a very strong support. So right now, just considering where it's at, I would prefer the buys, but I wouldn't just buy it because you've got, first of all, it's at the support. You're approaching it quite strong bearish at the minute. So I need to now wait for a confirmation at this point, and that would be to at least wait for perhaps 30s close back bullish, and within it, if this 15 closes bearish like so, if the following M15 can close, for instance, a very strong, if not bullish engulfing candle, it's going to close the M30 looking somewhat like so after tapping into this support, and that would validate potential entry on a buy. Otherwise, I would just patiently wait for a potential closure below this support, and then you could have options to sell it. There's my personal opinion of it. All right, GJ. We could have a potential limit order here. Limit order sell in the next minute. Has to close about 5 pips below it. So let's just see. What is the lowest point of this candle? 192.989. So therefore, in order to validate, it has the limit order. Has to close 339. Still may look for the limit order. Where's the lowest point in this candle? 192.983 on my same level. Well, actually, that's a little bit low. Looking good for the interruption play. Mixed at the same point. It's just valid zone to zone. That's what I'm going to look at, guys. I'm going to look to get involved on the pullback of the next M15. Wanted to create, first of all, I wanted to leave a bit of a low wick. And I want to get involved as price begins to pull back, retest this zone, tap into that bullish candle low. That's where the limit order will be set. Ah, man, it's got no freaking low wick. Just to add drama to it. It has on my broker though. I have no idea. I see markets is lagging like crap today. It really is lagging. All right. So I've set an order 192.983. But the minute it's gonna become, yeah, forget it. It's gone.
I missed also my GU trade.
Forget it. It's gone, guys.
0.1 pips. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was maybe touching, but it didn't.
Tough, man. Really tough.
Yeah.
But rules are rules, so.
Yeah.
GJ, I'm not.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm not going to take the continuation on GJ here. It's got, again, on this, it's got a tiny low wick in my chart, but the new candle didn't have enough of an up wick. It just is what it is. I would have preferred to get involved on the limit order. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to remove that order. You do. Jabu, thank you for the stickers, by the way. Thoughts on Gold GBpjpy. Yeah, so I need to see how price reacts to resistance here. There's nothing to do right now. SFX, we need to wait. Welcome, need to wait. Yep, I agree. Forex, buy. Fortunately, it's nothing, guys. What I wanted to present there on GJ, gone without me, and we're about to tap into a target. So even off the M30, if I was to wait, it's likely not going to be valid. But yeah, all good. Just a good test of patience, lots of discipline there, sticking to the rules. So it's what it is. Nothing I can do about it. 15 nice strong catalyst just there, but irrespective, not much of an upper wick. Not saying you couldn't have taken it, but I would have wanted to. I preferred getting involved upon the pullback, tapping into that bullish candle low, which did not eventuate. So it's unfortunately not going to play out on GJ at the minute. User GJ will drop further. Yeah, there's a good chance, but I'm not chasing it. My entry has gone without me. What I wanted to see happen has gone without me, so it's not my trade anymore. So if I try to get involved just now, it means I'm FOMOing into it, and that's not what I do.
What time are you on for New York?
About midday for you guys, I think it is. So, what's the time now? 9.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, exactly. About
20 past 9.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours or so from now. You'll be on, mate? Or
Cool. Cheers, bro. I'll see you then.
no problem.
Yeah, I'll be on, yeah.
Nice one, brother. Look forward to seeing you then.
Yeah, bye, James.
See you, champ. Cheers.
Yuzo
See you, Frank.
was in a while telling you so. Fantastic, mate. You're a legend. Again, it's so easy for anyone to say buy, sell, buy, sell. I'm happy for you. Couldn't give a shit though. How about the times you're taking trades otherwise and not calling it and you're getting wrecked? So this is me. I'm doing it live. I'm always happy if you guys are doing well. Gold is doing good moves. Denab. Gold is shit at the minute. I don't see any decent moves on gold at the minute. It's just crap. Real crap. Wow, GJ's just melting. Oh well, it's what it is. Not my trade. Gold will be sold up to. That makes a lot of sense. Will be sold up to 33.32. Sorry guys, I'm glad to have a bit of a laugh sometimes. Poke some shit at people. So I cop enough of it myself. Anyway, I could not care less because again, I do what I do. And there's always another session, there's always another opportunity. No need to FOMO. Do not stress that enough. Do not FOMO. Miss a move, reassess. Take a break. Come back. Have a look again. If you miss it again, once again, take a break. We'll call it a day. Reassess. Come back next day. Trust me. As soon as you can work out that's the way to go about training, stick to the actual plan, stick to your rules. That's when you're going to start to see some real differences in your training. As soon as you're looking at this thinking, oh fuck, I missed it. You're getting emotional, then you're gonna try, oh shit, alright, I'm just gonna sell it. This candle pulls back a bit, I'm gonna sell it. And all of a sudden it bounces off, you know, check to the left, it's bounced off the support, ends up back at the resistance, you've taken a loss, or oh shit, I'm gonna take another sell. Pushes back through, ends up back at the resistance, and you're just getting absolutely wrecked, left, right, and center. Simon, any groups to join on Telegram? No idea, I'm not on Telegram, mate. I'm on Discord, my friend. Alrighty, ladies, gents, I think it's that magic time of day where I'm gonna go off make some dinner. I'm getting pretty hungry. So anyway, on GJ, it's all good. I'm liking the fact that it's finally cleared this crap. That's the best thing that could happen. It's at a 4-hour support just now. The level it could potentially bounce at. But what I'd be waiting for is price to pull back. Look for it to respect and reject the most recent support that it has actually broke below. It is to continue bearish. But that level also provides a potential entry point, seeing as we have formed resistance at it, just above that level. So if we were to close back above it, for me, there's a good chance that we're heading back up, and that could be an option to take a buy. Gold, let it do its thing at the minute. It's not really moving with any volume momentum. If it pops up a bit higher and you get a bit of a price action catalyst, perhaps options to sell could come present around that 33, 68, 66 region, or if not, a little bit higher up. As soon as we start closing above 33.70, if you've got the margin to take a buy, I'd consider it. If not, you get it and wait to see how price reacts to that level just a little bit higher up. That is how I'd play gold personally. Once again, I have plenty of time. I can just chill. I need to stress it. Lemon. Do you know where? Melbourne, mate, Australia. So guys, been a good session. Lots of free education in amongst it all. And that's what we're here for. So guys, if you like to know more, again, you can find out all the information on links in my profile. YouTube, appreciate you guys for joining. I'll be on tomorrow from, I'll be on earlier tomorrow. I'll be on from about 3:45, 3:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is around 6:45, 6:50 a.m. UK time. You guys can work out the rest depending where you are. But yeah, do not forget to follow for those who haven't followed me just yet. Lemon, not from London, mate. And yeah, I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Trade safe, have a good one. Feel free to send me a message, guys. Always reply. Happy to have a chat with you guys and my team. Renko, Tommy.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, man. See you later on.
Lazy Crypto Man.
Y session.
Yep. I'll catch you boys all
enjoy your dinner
later on. Cheers, guys.
Justin, see you soon.
See you, mate.
Yeah.
Catch you later. And to YouTube, TikTok, thank you once again. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Trade safe. Don't do anything stupid. All good. Take care. Cheers, team. Bye.